What if sleep isn't rest, but the most powerful form of creation you've been ignoring? Every night you close your eyes and surrender your consciousness. The only question is, to what? To the chaotic echoes of yesterday's fears? Or to the divine I am that builds worlds while you dream? They taught you to pray for your future during the day, but they never told you the secret. Your feeling state as you drift into slumber is the most powerful prayer you will ever utter. It is the command that your subconscious mind accepts without question. In the next few moments, you won't just learn a new nightly routine. You will reclaim the most sacred and potent hours of your existence. You will learn to turn your bed into an altar of surrender, so that the God within can remake your world while you simply rest. As the world outside grows quiet, a universe awakens within you. Tonight you stand at a sacred threshold, not between day and night, but between two states of being. The moment your head touches the pillow is a moment of profound selection. You will either surrender your consciousness to the chaotic symphony of fear, replaying yesterday's failures and rehearsing tomorrow's anxieties, or you will deliver it into the hands of a power that knows only peace, a presence that already holds the solution you seek. This is not a passive drift into slumber. It is the most crucial decision of your day. You are choosing the architect of your dreams, the molder of your subconscious reality. Will it be the ghost of your past or the God of your present? One path leads to a restless mind, a battlefield of doubt. The other leads to a workshop where your inner world is perfectly remade. The choice is yours, and it is made now. And here's what changes everything. Your bed is not merely a piece of furniture. It is an altar. It is the holy ground where you perform the sacred rite of surrender. The masters of the mind understood this. They knew that in the delicate space between waking and sleeping, the veil thins. Your conscious mind, the gatekeeper of doubt and reason, begins to stand down. It is in this fertile silence that your subconscious, the true operant power, is most receptive. It is here that you plant the seeds of your new reality. To lie down with a heart full of worry is to plant weeds of lack and despair. But to consciously transform your bed into an altar of surrender, oh, that is an act of divine magic. You are no longer just going to sleep. You are entering a temple to commune with your higher self, your I am, and allowing it to work unimpeded. You are turning your rest into a creative act. You may feel utterly alone in that quiet room, wrestling with giants only you can see, but you are never alone. The same presence that hung the stars in the void is intimately aware of the rhythm of your breathing, the weight on your soul. It sees, it hears, it acts. The ancient scriptures are filled with testaments to this truth, divine visitations that came not in the noise of the day, but in the stillness of the night. Jacob saw a ladder to the heavens while he slept on a stone. Solomon was gifted with infinite wisdom in a dream. These are not mere stories. They are blueprints of possibility. They reveal a profound secret. The night is designed for divine revelation and inner transformation. Your deepest worries whispered into your pillow are heard not by the empty air, but by the consciousness that orchestrates all things. It is waiting for you to simply get out of the way, to trust that the work is being done even when you cannot see it. This act of deliverance, of handing over your fears, your anxieties about the future, the outcomes you cannot control, is the hallmark of a mature faith. It is a declaration that you understand a fundamental law of the universe. You are not the ultimate doer. There is a greater power at play. To cling to your problems, to analyze them endlessly as you try to sleep, is an act of spiritual immaturity. It's like telling the master artist how to paint, but to say, I have done my part. The rest, I release to you, is to activate a force beyond your comprehension. It is to assume the state of the solution. You are no longer identifying with the problem. You are aligning with the divine mind that knows only the answer. This surrender isn't a sign of weakness. It is the ultimate expression of power, for it connects you to the source of all power. Therefore, understand this. Sleeping in peace is a spiritual discipline. It is an act of defiance against the chaos of the world. It is your silent, powerful statement that your trust is not in what you see, but in the unseen power that governs all. Each night you choose peace, you are rewiring your soul. You are teaching your very cells that they are safe, that they are cared for, that all is well. You are allowing God to work for you and through you while you rest. Your sleep ceases to be an escape and becomes a period of profound spiritual nourishment and effortless creation. You are not just resting your body, you are resting in the certainty of His power. You are sleeping as the person you wish to be, knowing that as you sleep you are becoming it. But this sacred surrender requires a very specific inner environment. This sacred surrender is only possible in a prepared space. The night possesses a unique frequency, a profound silence that the day can never offer. But this silence is a mirror. In it, you are forced to confront the noise you carry inside, the relentless chatter of the ego, the echoes of old guilts, the anxious projections of a future that does not yet exist. These are not your thoughts. They are programs running on repeat. The great illusion is to believe this inner noise is you. It is not. It is the static that blocks the signal. The night does not create this noise. It simply turns down the volume of the world so you can finally become aware of it. And awareness is the first step to liberation. You cannot silence a storm you pretend isn't there. You must first listen to the chaos to command it to be still. Now go deeper. That divine consciousness, the I am within, does not compete for your attention. It does not shout over the clamor of your fears or the distractions of your screen. It speaks in a whisper. It communicates in the pause, in the stillness between your thoughts. This is why the moments before sleep are so potent. They are a natural daily invitation to attune your inner ear to this subtle voice. But here is the critical act of discernment. What are you feeding your mind right before you enter this sacred listening chamber? Are you pouring in the poison of fear-laden news, the agitation of social media debates, the emotional residue of a violent film? To do so is to invite chaos into the Holy of Holies. You are polluting the very waters from which your reality will be formed. The silence is waiting, but you must choose to enter it clean. Here's what the masters understood. Your subconscious mind accepts as truth whatever is impressed upon it with feeling, especially when the conscious guard is down. As you drift into sleep, you are in the most suggestible state imaginable. The ideas and emotions you hold in that moment are the commands you are giving to the infinite creative power within. If you fall asleep feeling the anxiety of the day's news, you are placing an order for more circumstances that generate anxiety. You are assuming the state of the victim. Therefore, the act of closing your mind to anything that does not edify, that does not align with the reality you wish to experience, is not an act of ignorance. It is the highest form of spiritual discipline. You are the guardian at the gate of your mind. It is your sacred duty to deny entry to any thought, any image, any feeling that does not serve your divine purpose. Consider the great mystics, the masters of reality. Jesus himself, the scripture says, often withdrew to silent places, especially at night, to commune with the Father. This was not a religious ritual. It was a spiritual necessity. It was a deliberate disconnection from the world's demands to reconnect with the source of all power. He understood that in silence, answers are revealed. In stillness, strength is renewed. In solitude, divine presence is felt most profoundly. He was demonstrating a timeless principle. You must create a vacuum for the divine to fill. You cannot receive guidance when your mind is a crowded marketplace of worldly concerns. You must choose to step away, to create your own silent sanctuary, even if it's just in the final minutes before you drift into sleep. That intentional silence is an act of invitation. So let's make this real, a practical test of your own operant power. Tonight, before you sleep, turn off all the noise, not just the television, but the inner noise as well. For 5 minutes, simply be still. Let the chaotic thoughts pass by like clouds without judgment. And in that quiet space, make a simple, heartfelt declaration. Say, "Speak, I am listening." You are not just speaking to the air. You are opening a direct channel to your higher self, the consciousness that is already the person you desire to be. You are signaling your readiness to receive the blueprint for your becoming. You are turning from the static of the world to the symphony of your own soul. And when you begin to listen, truly listen, you will realize that some voices bring peace while others must be armored against. As you cultivate this inner silence, you become aware of two distinct voices: the whisper of divine truth and the echo of profound fear. Understand this: the night is a spiritual battlefield. It is the plane where the veil between your conscious and subconscious mind is thinnest, and the unresolved energies within you rise to be seen. Ghosts of your own making, memories armed with regret, guilts that whisper accusations, and fears that parade as prophecy, emerge from the shadows of your psyche. These are not external invaders. They are fragments of your own unhealed consciousness seeking dominion. The night, therefore, becomes a proving ground. It is where you either fall victim to the echoes of your old self, or you rise as the master of your inner world. You are not meant to be a passive observer of this battle. You are meant to be a fully armed sovereign. These nocturnal attacks are subtle, masterfully disguised as your own thoughts. They manifest as the restless mind that refuses to be still, replaying conversations and analyzing every possible mistake. They arrive as a sudden wave of anxiety, a baseless dread that masquerades as rational concern for the future. They take the form of negative predictions, vivid imaginations of failure and loss that feel utterly real in the darkness. This is the great enemy Napoleon Hill identified: fear, in its many forms. It is a destructive mental force that infiltrates the fortress of the mind when conscious vigilance is at its lowest. It knows that your pre-sleep state is the fertile ground where it can plant its most poisonous seeds, ensuring they will germinate in your subconscious and bear fruit in your waking reality. But you were not designed to sleep unprotected. The divine intelligence does not send a soldier into battle without armor. And this armor is not a suit of steel. It is a state of consciousness you must intentionally assume. To clothe yourself in this spiritual armor is an internal decision, a selection made in the sanctuary of your own mind. The shield of faith is not blind belief. It is your unwavering assumption that you are eternally protected, guided, and loved by the I Am presence within you. It is a conscious refusal to entertain any thought that contradicts this truth. The sword of the word is the creative power of your own declarations, the biblical truths, the powerful affirmations, the prayers that cut through the illusions of fear and reclaim your mental territory. You must choose to put on this armor moment by moment. Wielding these weapons is an active discipline. It means that before you surrender to sleep, you stand guard at the gate of your mind and speak. You declare truth into your own inner atmosphere. You proclaim your safety, your peace, your divine inheritance. Each declaration, spoken with feeling, acts as a spiritual weapon. It doesn't just defend, it purifies. It transmutes the energy of fear into the energy of faith. These words, saturated with your conviction, form an invisible fortress around your soul, a shield that quiets the disturbing voices and repels the unseen influences that thrive on doubt. You are not just thinking positive thoughts. You are engaging in a sacred act of command, decreeing the reality you will inhabit while your body rests. You are programming your subconscious with the language of God. To drift into sleep without this intentional act of armoring your mind is to leave the door of your house wide open in a dangerous neighborhood. It is an invitation for every stray thought, every wandering fear, every projected anxiety from the collective consciousness to enter and make a home within you. You would never leave your physical dwelling so vulnerable. Why then would you leave the temple of your mind, the very source from which your entire experience of reality is generated, completely unguarded? Your protection is your responsibility. It is your right. Each night you must make the choice to consciously inhabit a state of divine security. But what does this protected peace look like when the storms of life are raging outside your window? What does it mean to rest not just in a quiet room, but in the heart of chaos itself? The ultimate test of your spiritual armor is not how it performs in tranquility, but how it holds in a tempest. The story of Jesus sleeping on a cushion in the stern of a storm-tossed boat is not a lesson in exhaustion. It is a profound revelation of a state of consciousness. While his disciples, operating from a state of fear, saw only the raging winds and the threatening waves, he inhabited a different reality entirely. He was not unaware of the storm. He was simply more aware of the power that commands all storms. His peace was not a reaction to his circumstances, but a decision that preceded them. He rested in the absolute knowing that his Father was in control. This is the faith that stills the wind. It is the ability to select an inner state of peace so absolute that the outer world has no choice but to eventually conform. This is the secret. Your subconscious mind does not care about the facts of your external reality. It responds only to the feeling, the assumption you hold as true within. If you lie in bed rehearsing your problems, feeling the storm of your life raging around you, you are instructing your subconscious to create more storm. You are impressing upon it the reality of chaos. But Jesus slept. He was feeling the reality of peace, of safety, of divine care. He was demonstrating the ultimate spiritual law. What you feel with emotion, your inner world accepts as truth. He slept not out of ignorance, but out of a profound understanding of his own operant power. He knew who was taking care of everything, and by resting in that assumption, he became a beacon of peace that calmed the very elements. You have that same power. Therefore, as you lie on your altar tonight, you are faced with the same choice. You can focus on the storm, the unpaid bill, the uncertain future, the troubled relationship, or you can close your eyes and consciously generate the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the feeling of being taken care of. You can say, "I trust. My Father is handling this." And you repeat it not as a hopeful mantra but as a statement of fact, feeling its truth resonate in every cell of your body. This act generates an inner peace that is independent of any external condition. It is a declaration of your true identity. You are not the person tossed by the waves. You are the consciousness that is one with the power that stills them. Sleeping in peace amidst your storm is the highest form of prayer. It is a declaration of faith that says, "I have delivered it. Now I rest. You are not abandoning your responsibilities. You are handing them over to a higher authority. You are stepping out of the role of the frantic problem solver and into the role of the trusting child of God. This shift in state is everything. It changes the very chemistry of your being. It allows solutions to come to you in dreams. It allows for synchronicities to arrange themselves in your waking hours. The storm may not cease the moment you close your eyes, but by choosing to sleep in peace, you have ceased to give it your power. You have withdrawn your creative energy from the problem and invested it fully in the solution, which is the state of peace and trust itself. This is the key to lighter nights, to dreams that heal instead of haunt, and to mornings that dawn with new possibilities instead of old dread. You are learning to anchor your soul not in the shifting sands of circumstance, but in the unshakable rock of your own, I am consciousness. Each night you successfully sleep in the storm is a victory that builds your faith exponentially. You are proving to yourself that your inner state is the cause, and the outer world is merely the effect. You are training yourself to live from the inside out. But this profound trust is made even more powerful when you first clear the debris of the day, especially the heavy burdens of resentment and guilt. Before you can truly rest in this divine peace, you must first sweep the temple clean. To carry a grudge into your bed is to try and sleep on a bed of thorns. It is an act of self-torture. Each night resentment keeps your heart at war, replaying old wounds and rehearsing arguments, poisoning the sacred space where you are meant to commune with God. The great teacher knew this when he taught that you must forgive others to receive forgiveness yourself. This is not a transactional bargain with an external deity. It is a profound law of consciousness. You cannot receive the peace that flows from the divine mind while you are willingly holding on to the frequency of conflict. Forgiveness is not for the other person. It is the spiritual choice you make to unlock your own heart and allow peace to enter. It is the key that turns off the inner noise of battle. Go deeper. Napoleon Hill identified resentment as one of the most potent mental blocks, a self-imposed prison that paralyzes the mind's creative potential. To hold a grudge is to chain yourself to the very person or event you wish to escape. It keeps that negative energy alive and active within your own consciousness, where it will fester and attract more circumstances to feel resentful about. Understand, forgiving is not justifying their error. It is not saying what they did was right. It is a declaration that you will no longer allow their mistake to control your inner state. It is a sovereign act of reclaiming your power. You are releasing your control over the pain, handing the judgment over to a higher power, and freeing your own soul to ascend to a higher state of being. It is the ultimate act of self-liberation, and sometimes, the person you most need to forgive is looking back at you from the mirror. You carry the weight of your own perceived failures, the guilt of past mistakes, the shame of what you couldn't achieve. This self-condemnation is a heavy anchor that drags you down into states of unworthiness, making it impossible to feel the peace of divine acceptance. To forgive yourself is to fully accept your humanity while remembering your divinity. It is to say, I did the best I could with the consciousness I had then. I release myself now. This act of grace brings an immediate freedom, a lightness to your soul. It dissolves the invisible chains that have kept you bound to a lesser version of yourself, allowing you to finally sleep in peace and awaken unburdened. Once the heart is cleansed through forgiveness, it must be sealed with a declaration of truth. God's word, the timeless principles of divine law, is not a collection of ancient stories. It is a living arsenal. It is a sword, a shield, and a fortress. When you declare these truths before you sleep, you are not merely reciting words. You are building an invisible wall of spiritual force around your consciousness. You are speaking a higher reality into existence. A scripture like Psalm 4:8, "In peace I will lie down and sleep, for you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety," is not just a comforting thought. It is a spiritual declaration that, when felt and assumed, activates a very real field of divine protection around you. You are commanding your subconscious to accept safety as its only reality. This is the science of the mind that the masters knew so well. Repeating dominant ideas, saturated with faith, shapes the reality within the subconscious. And what ideas could be more dominant than the eternal truths of your own divine nature? To proclaim these verses aloud with sincere conviction is to actively reprogram your mind. You are uprooting the weeds of fear and doubt and planting the mighty seeds of divine truth. Declarations from Psalms of protection, like Psalm 23 or 91, become your personal anthems of power, warding off disturbance and quieting the whispers of fear. This regular practice is not a ritual. It is the cultivation of a new inner world. These words plant new roots that grow into unwavering faith, unshakable inner strength, and the profound true rest that is your divine birthright. Your work for the day is over, but your creation is just beginning. You no longer hope for a different morning. You sleep as the one who already has it. So I ask you, what reality will you assume as truth tonight? Declare your new state in the comments below. Subscribe to this channel and activate the bell, because this is a journey, not a single lesson. And if you're ready to take this power from your nightly altar into your waking world, the next video is your command. Click it now and live the truth you've just embraced.